para pa pa pam. Para papa, para papa. Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to another development stream. Good evening, or good afternoon. Some of you are from US, and so good afternoon. What are we gonna do tonight? Well, we are gonna continue. Where am I? I'm here. Hello. The grin on the face. Hello, Tony. Hello, Shlu. Hello, developer. Hello. Oh, we have a picture of the day. Nice. You know, standing by the fireplace is always nice. Yeah, we're gonna continue with our Alpha 0711, and we already did quite a bit, but we continue to go through. Just to remind what we did, we fixed the emotes, we fixed the collision on the trees on the main city. Actually, there were still objects from the old version of the trees in the game, but they were flagged as not visible. But flagging them as not visible doesn't remove the collision. So the problem is that they were still in somehow for the engine, and so you were still colliding with the old trees, and now I removed them, so it shouldn't happen anymore. I wanted to fix the item position in all the levels. Now, I don't know if I did it really in all the levels, but I checked the main city. So Idla, Ujavera, Gugronted, and Amnedair, and I checked a bit also the surrounding, and it seems that the items are, if not in the best position, but they are in a relatively good position. And then we fixed a bit of the bow. Now, this is not a final fix, okay, because the bow is still a bit fucked up, but at least you can use the ammo and you can shoot, okay, which was like a minimum requirement. The timing, unfortunately, between the animation of you using the bow and the time where it's actually shooting the arrow is not really correct, so that we need to fix, but I think it's okay. And now we are here at fixing mounts. Well, actually, fixing mounts is not the right name. What I want to fix familiars, familiar mounts, right? But anyway, other familiars. I think the right name is the one that are used as mounts, because in PlaneShift we have a primary pet, which is the one that is linked to you in a kind of a magic way, and then you have mounts. Now, now that I think about it, I don't know if I really agree with the other mounts to be summoned like the way we summon. I think that the best would be to pick them up from a stable or from another place, I don't know. But I mean, the primary pet for me is kind of okay that he's getting summoned, because anyway, it's this magical link with you and is growing with you and is making experience with you. I don't know, it's a bit of a magical creature, right? And I think it makes sense. But for the other familiars, I don't know, maybe in the future I will change it. For now, I think we're just gonna port the fact that you can summon also the other mounts, right? But I don't know if this is really what I want, because otherwise they would have to be magical as well, and I don't know how magic works in PlaneShift. How much of the game you design? The magic works through glyphs. And so basically you collect glyphs, which are like words of power, let's say, So you can imagine them as concepts or symbol, a bit like the, I don't know, Japanese or Chinese language. So every glyph has a kind of a meaning or symbol, and a bit similar to the Ultima series, if you want. If any of you still remember what is the Ultima series, but and then you combine those glyphs to create spells, right? And then when you combine them and you find out a spell, it goes into your spell book, and then you can cast it from that point on, as long as you have the glyphs with you. So let's say that for the wizards or for the magic users, the glyphs are the most important item that they have. If they lose them, it's really a problem. So if we will ever implement pickpocketing, we definitely need to be careful about pickpocketing glyphs, because can be an issue. No reagents? No, at the moment no. No, we don't have a material component, no. No, also because it's you know, in an MMO anyway, you need to provide quick enough, you know, the ability to cast spells. I mean, it's a pretty important part of the game. Okay, so how we're gonna do this other familiar? So what I did, I created a new quest, right? Which is very simple and is providing you a Rivnak familiar. Now, I have no idea if it works, because I just copied the script from production. There is also another one, which is this one, which is this other quest. Obviously, here we are in the dummy database. So dummy database contains only simple, you know, test cases that we can use to test the game, but it's not, obviously, this is not the real quest. It's just 2 lines. So the idea is to start the client and the server, go with the character to the NPC, which is called merchant, which is the one that is providing us with these 2 quests, execute the quest, get the mounts, and see what happens. Like Ultima Online, yes. Is Ultima Online still alive or not? Yeah, I think so. Hello, Thaddeus. Welcome. Yeah, the moment we are summoning the mount, you know, we are summoning the mount like a pet. But I don't know. I don't know if in the future should be the same. I really don't know. I really don't know. Because I'm okay with one being magical, but all being magical seems a bit too much. I don't know. Seems a bit weird, but at the moment we don't care. Okay, so we need to go to the merchant guy. So I will just teleport to the merchant just because I can. For whatever reason is associated to this guy, but again, we are in the dummy database. Look at all these elms, were the ones where we were testing the rotation of the objects in the game. That was very long time ago, but they remained here. So we were testing if the object were properly saved in the database with the right rotation, and they are still there. Which is kind of funny. Okay, so we're gonna speak with this merchant. Merchant. Didn't we remove this top one? Huh. But now that I have introduced it again, on click is double. Okay. Yeah, I need to fix that so it's not double when you speak with NPC. Say something freeform. No. So this should be... Yes, you see there are these 2 things. Could you give me a familiar? Could you give me a Rivia familiar? So let's start with could you give me a familiar? And this guy is giving to you immediately, so there should be no problem on that. So now I should have, in theory, a ring of familiar, which is this one, that you have to equip. Let me also see if this thing is working immediately or not. What the fuck? It happened again. It happened again that my character is... Why is this? Ah, it's the camera. Okay. Oh, by the way, already appeared. Really? Is automatically summoned? Hello. So he's here. My familiar is here. Now, if I go in my pets... you see, this one is not updated yet, though. Let me try to pet dismiss. Okay, it just disappears. Maybe it would be nice to have kind of a particle effect, right? And pet summon. So my pet returned. Okay. But if I go in the pet window, I don't see him. I think the reason of this is that the pets are actually sent to me when I start the game. That is also something we need to fix, huh? Because now I don't see him in the pet window, but if I quit and I restart, I think it will appear. So now the question I think is, so we need to do it when? We need to do it from create familiar, huh? From create familiar. So when we create the familiar, we need to resend the list of pets to the client. Otherwise, it will not work. So this create familiar is actually going into this, which is executing a script, which is called create familiar, which is a progression event. And that is going into the C++ inside probably progression events or something like that. Progression manager, potentially. Let me see if I find familiar in the current document. No, I think it's under scripting then. It's under scripting because it's a specific action. Is under scripting, and scripting is still under server, huh? Yes, scripting. Yes, create familiar, new create familiar OP. Okay. How have you ported the word terrain to you? Is all in normal static meshes? No, the terrain we redesigned. We ported the meshes, so we ported the houses, the buildings, and everything. You see this IntelliSense? I have to click on cancel to actually get to the point. So we ported only the geometry. The height maps we redesigned pretty much. I mean, we took a bit of an inspiration from the old one, but we redesigned because there was no easy way to port it. Entity manager create familiar. So I think when we are doing this, we should update the client and resend the familiar list. Create familiar, character data, master familiar, get master familiar ID, change familiar name, blah blah blah, familiar name, adjust the position of familiar for the only position, put an NPC in a new area, okay, copy from NPC. This is actually doing the actual creation. So this is actually doing create the new familiar, is doing it here in this line. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah, spawning rule, set owner. So it's setting myself as the owner. Is I don't know why it's doing this, no idea. Pet, if pet, dismiss the active summoned pet. Set the familiar NPC, set the familiar ID. Wow. It is saving the data, so save the new familiar to database, create the owner session, and blah 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 blah. Okay, this is not needed anymore, but we need to update the client, so we need to tell the client we have a new pet for the pet window. The pet window is not existing in PlaneShift Legacy, so this is why we don't have it in the code, right? But we need to do that. So to do that, we need to take the owner, and we need to call on the owner something that probably is called something like pet. IntelliSense will think about it while I'm searching for it. But should be fairly easy to find if I search pet. Yes, request pet list. Is this one, is the receive pet list. So we need to call pet manager, send familiar information. Pet manager, send familiar information. Yeah, it's basically this line. It's basically this line that we need to call. Should be fairly easy. Should be fairly easy. So the only point is that I need the only thing that is that I need to get the player controller, so I think I can do a get controller, a get PS controller of this guy, and then receive pet list, and should be fine. I think this will do it already. I think this line will do it already. We should test it, but hello Hula, good evening, welcome. So how do we simulate it again? I think I would like to delete the pet and recompile, and I would like to be sure that that character is actually deleted, so that we can restart from a clean situation. Is this one, Melare Familiar? So I will delete this. I will delete this line and save. Also, I need to delete the character relationships, because we create a link between the player and the pet. Exactly this one. So we can remove this line. And then in theory, we have another one, which is the ring of familiar. But, you know, even if we get another one, is okay. Even if we get another one, is fine. So we will re-execute the same code, right? And see. And then we will try to summon the second one, the second pet. The only thing that I think didn't work well was that the pet is supposed to be dismissed immediately, while for some reason he has been created. I mean, it's not a big trouble because you can dismiss it just after, but you know, the idea, in the old PlaneShift, you were not yes, on owner get PS controller. So from the character we go to the controller. In the controller we ask to send the pet list, and which is sent only to the owner, and the content of the pet list is this one. Now I hope That is reloaded, but get familiar ID. In theory, this should have been updated, hopefully. Phone get familiar ID. We need to see if this one. I'm not that sure. Ah, yes, there is a set familiar ID anyway. Set familiar ID NPC. Set familiar ID. Yeah, it's this one. So this one in theory should add to the array, right? Yes, it adds to the array. Okay, perfect. Why we do a sort? Why we do a sort? That's kind of weird. I don't think it's a great idea to do a sort there, because I think that we consider the primary pet, you know, to be the first one, but we will see. Because I don't think that you can get the secondary pets or the additional pet if you don't have the main one. So it's mandatory to have the main one before. By the way, guys, if you want to help, you know, in an easy way, the easiest way for you to help the project would be to, for example, retweet my tweets when I go live, or to post, you know, the news that we have a new alpha 0710 available. Whatever you want, you can post it on your Facebook, you can post it on your Instagram, you can post it on your Twitter, you can send it to your friends by email or whatever. So the more people we reach, the better. And so if you spread the news that we have released out, that will actually help, right? You are entitled to send the news. If you want to have a specific text associated, I don't know, maybe you can ask me. But if it's just something like, oh, PlaneShift has a new release and you can find it here, there is no problem. You can just say that. Okay, so we need to speak with this guy. I was checking the top part. I think I need to be sure that I'm hiding it when we are in NPC speak mode. Otherwise, you see the you know, the name twice, and you also see this bar, which is not really. Also, they are not exactly centered. I don't know why. Okay, the guy appeared directly on top of my on top of the chair. Okay. But you see that now. Oh fuck! Why we have two? Now we have two. That's not good. I didn't restart the server. No, for sure I restarted the server. That's interesting though. Why we received two, which by the way are exactly identical. Why we received two? Because one was already there? No, I don't think so. Because we deleted from the relationship table. $140. Fuck. Probably it's this one. Because I'm another character. I'm 147 and not 148 and 154. I think this is me. That's why. So I didn't delete it. I deleted for another character. Interesting. 147. Yes. Okay, so it's correct. Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we have two familiars now, but which should not be possible. But two primary ones. But it's okay. At least we saw that as soon as we got the second one, this table was updated, right? And so I have a question. Amazing Tiger. Is there a way to change blueprint to C++ code, or is it to have to get C++ code, or you learn to... Now you have to do it manually. Let's say when you save a blueprint, from the editor is already trying to save it in a way that is kind of pre-compiled. Okay, so this is what happens when you click on compile at the top. So is at the top in the editor, right? So it's already saving it in a way that is a bit optimized, but it will never be like the C++, right? It will always be slower than the C++. So so you have to convert it manually. Now I think at Epic Games they have discussed this thing many times, to having the ability to convert automatically to C++, but I didn't see it yet, so I didn't see it. So this guy in theory should follow me, but I think in this place probably cannot, because he's on top of a chair and I think he has zero capability. But I can do this. I can dismiss it and I can summon it again. And then I can see if now he's following me. Yes, as you can see, he's following me. The guy is following me. Also, since he has zero energy, he will also eat food. So if I drop anything that is food, which I don't remember if this one is considered food. You see? He ate it. He ate it, and in theory his energy should go up, and his but I see it's not updated. Maybe because it's the second one, because now we have two that are exactly identical, and I think the code is fucking up a bit. But yes, you can. Now he's not eating anymore, so probably he's already fed. He has enough. I think he has enough food. Because you see that he's not eating, while the previous one he did. Okay, so you have your pet, and your pet is following you, which is always nice. And now you can do stuff with your pet. You can teach him something and things like that. These are all the capabilities that in theory you could do now, and the one that you will be able to do when the pet is growing up. Now this part is not really finished, so there is a bit of still work to do. There's a bit of work to do to actually make it fully functional. Okay, but the first one worked. So my suggestion is the following. Let's go back to where we were at the beginning, removing the real data, because actually we removed data that was not proper. So we will delete these two lines. And we will delete the new character as well. And I don't know if I also want to delete the ring of familiar, but ring of familiar I can just destroy it when I enter the game. So here we should be in a clean situation now, right? I will make all pet follow you like the old school WoW, and then you can put them in the player house. Yeah, the moment they are following you, and then you can unsummon them. So it's like casting a spell, and they go back to the plane where they belong to. And then you can summon them again. I think for the primary pet is a must, because you need to have, sometimes you need to have your primary pet with you. And so it's a must that you can summon and summon. For the secondary, like the mounts, etc., I think would be best if you just put them in a place, in a stable or something. And I don't know. I think it will make more sense. Now, if it becomes annoying because then you have to go to that place to take it, probably yes. But so we have to think a bit about it. Okay, I'm not going to change it now, but we have to think a bit about it if we want to keep it this way, because this way is super simple, but is also not very realistic, I would say. One thing that was happening is when I speak with this guy, my camera goes completely GG. I don't know why. When I speak with this guy and then I say bye, you see that the camera then is... I don't know what is the camera now. It's like if the camera is not getting reset properly. And the only way for me is to press F2. And then if I... not even. It's to press F1 and then F2. And then the camera is reset. So it's reset. So I think there is a bit of a regression on... Let me take a note so that we know it. Check camera position after speaking with NPC. And since I'm here, we can also say remove NPC name and health bar when speaking with NPC. These two things I think we should do, because otherwise we are back to where we were. Okay, so now I'm clean. I don't have... Well, I have multiple Ring of Familiars, but I can destroy them. I can do modify, target, remove, and this is actually getting destroyed from the world. So I don't tap them anymore. They are actually destroyed. They're not just made invisible, they're actually destroyed. And then I go to this guy and I say, could you give me a familiar? He will say yes, the guy will pop up. It's kind of funny how it pops up. How it pops up immediately. You see that he's not following you at the beginning, so there is another problem. I think he should be unsummoned as a default, but something happened. You need to keep the item your familiar is bound to. Yeah, if I don't keep the Ring of Familiar, I will not be able to summon him. Okay, makes sense. Maybe it should be a red message though, because it's not that easy to see. Okay, so now we have... by the way, you can also shrink the panel like this if you want. So you could have, you know, your panel on the left. You can still see your pet and still give commands. So this button now, I don't have an icon, but it should be an icon that is pointing left or right, so you can shrink basically the left panel. You have been playing it for 10 years. None of it. Yeah, Hula is an old player. But there are many others, and if you go to Discord, you will find people that are, well, not really playing the game always, you know, but they are still a bit active sometimes. And I mean, now the game really needs an update. The people are playing it, but more for nostalgia, I guess, than really to play the game. I don't know. I never asked them, but they are waiting, you know, this new version to go back and play it, I guess. Because the old version is really a bit too old now. Okay, so we have this pet. I think we can unsummon, and we can now try to get the new pet. So the second one, right? So if I speak with this guy and I ask him, could you give me a Rivnak familiar? Now the problem is that if he spawns, he will spawn here. Let's see. It says yes. Now I still have the problem of the camera, but so now if I go under pets, actually I have, there are two, you see the effect, there are two pets in the same location. That's pretty, that's not the way it should be. But apart from that, if I summon the second one, what is it doing? Your familiar has already been summoned. I think I should use something like pet 2 or something. Pet number, summon. Your familiar has already been summoned. I don't know. You have no pet number the 2. Do they start from 0? I can do pet dismiss, but no, there is something that is not working. You have no summoned familiar to command. I think it's working only on the first one. The second one is really not working. The second one is really not working. I need to understand what was the command. How do you summon the second one? Is pet 2 summon or what is it? It's pet summon 1. But the help is saying something different. Okay. Pet summon 1 where 1 is the second, or you don't have a pet named 1. You do not have a pet named 2. Let me try pet name, okay? Pet name. Is pet name even working or no? Pet name. I think we need to put here the name of the pet and the ability to change it on the UI. Okay, so you should be able to change it here. It would be so much easier. I mean, I don't want the people to use the commands. You have no summon familiar to command. Okay, I can summon it. Okay, now it's summoned, right? So if I do pet name, no, let me try without a target. Pet name test. Your prior familiar is now known as test. Okay. So it's actually renaming your pet. Okay, that's good. So now this guy is named test. Test familiar. Actually, is updated automatically. Wow, that's quite amazing. The UI is not updated, so we need to update this one. Okay, if I dismiss it, it works. So I have one that is named test. Now I need to summon the second one though. Pet summon rarirs. Is it going by name or what? So should I say you do not have a pet name Rarir? I mean, I think I can do pet summon test. Yes, pet summon test works. But how do I name the second one? Pet summon 2? Pet summon 1? No. Pet dismiss. Pet summon 1. You do not have a pet name 1. So or the code is not working as it was working in the old game, or there is something Team Swin is working on verse, the scripting language, but that's not about. I don't know why they are working on their own scripting language. There is a Python integration for the editor, so so I don't know why they are doing that. Okay, so let's try to understand why that command is not working. Most likely because that part has not been ported yet. Okay, so probably that part is or not working properly or really missing. So we need to understand, check for the comma in the word to. This could happen if the pet name is in quotes. If the pet name is in quotes, is there enough for the pet name? Pet name specified. You know, but I think I would like to go by ID somehow, because yeah, but it's actually searching for the comma. Python is slow? No, I don't think so. I mean, it's as slow as a scripting language. Summon, I don't understand what he's searching. If he's searching a comma after summon or what? Pet number comma. This help is weird anyway. I don't understand what he wants. Okay, so let's debug it, which is probably the only way. So I will launch the server in debug mode and we will try to see. I mean, it will already be interesting to know how it works in the old game, but I guess do we have it on the wiki? Do we have on the wiki the pet commands? I think we have the pet commands. No. Player guide skills. But it was, I think there was. There was a list of commands, right? With all the commands, and I think there was also the pet command. No, the pet command we didn't put here. Pity. Should put them in the wiki. Anyway. I don't know why it's taking so much to start, but okay, but this is the work we need to do. We need to I mean, to me the best will be to do it all from the UI anyway. I think it makes no sense that you need to use a command to rename your pet. I mean, it's so annoying. So from the UI, now that we have a pet window, there can be an editable box at the top, and and you will be able to rename it, right? And I don't know if that should go by ID of the pet or whatever. Okay, anyway, we're gonna see when I type /pet. I think this syntax is wrong. I don't see this syntax being correct, and also I don't understand it too much. What is that comma? Why I need to put a comma after the pet number, and then what is the pet number? Can you take over my character? Yes, I could move your character to my account, yes. I mean, in the simple database, yes. No, but I think the pets are correct. The pets are correct. It's just the command to manage them that is not correct. I think the data is okay. So we have 2 pets, and one is named... I can refresh the character table, but... one is called Reраris Familiar, the other is called Test Familiar. I don't know why we have 3 now. But probably under relationships, we only have 2. Yes, we have 2, 190, 191. The other one is left over, but it's okay. The other one is left over. 90 and 91. These 2 are our familiar. One is called Test Familiar, and the other is called Reраris Familiar. This one we could actually delete. The 189. So when I'm here, right, and I receive, yeah, you see that now the name of the guy is correct because I restarted my client, but that I'm gonna fix it. And if I go here, I'm going to the second pet. Now it's not the right trace, unfortunately, but okay, now we will see. So if I do /pet, let me try to understand this thing. /pet, and then in theory wants a pet number. So do you know if they exist? Do you know if they start from 0 or from 1? So if it's pet 0, pet 1, or if it's pet 1, pet 2? That I don't know. I don't remember. 0. Okay, so let's try pet 1, then we should be the second, right? Pet 1, comma, summon. Right? So now we're gonna debug exactly what this thing is doing. Check for the n in word number 2. Ah, fuck, yes, there is a mistake. Yes, there is a mistake. Okay, I already see it. Yeah, I don't really like this comma though, but okay, we have this freaking comma. Yes, this check is wrong. This check is checking if the second word is equal to comma, but in our case is attached to comma. So actually, it should not do that. It should say something like words remove at. Why is removing the word then? I don't understand this comma thing. Why we have this thing? He's trying to remove the second word, and so basically we remove my 1 comma. My 1 comma is a word, and he will remove it. Then after removing it, he's searching if in the first one there is a comma again. I don't know, it's so confusing. It's so confusing. You can also do pet summon pet name. Yeah, pet summon pet name will be a bit easier. I don't understand this number. Who invented this thing is a crazy guy, probably me. But I don't think so. I think that code was done by someone else for sure. Pet summon pet name. So if I do pet summon test, let me see what the code is doing. It will not find any comma of any kind, but command. Let me first see if it works in game, and then we will see. Your familiar has already been summoned. Yes, it's actually there. It's actually here. Okay, let's dismiss. By the way, I think you can also right click and trade and speak. Okay, you can speak with him. Let's dismiss him 1 second. And then let me try to summon it by name, because I think I'm going to delete this. That comma thing is so annoying. Pet summon test. Right? Okay, yes. Pet summon name works. Pet summon name works. I think it's the best then, right? So pets pet dismiss. Well, I can just click on the UI, it's easy. I just go here and I dismiss him. Okay. Which, by the way, is just sending the command. So it's doing nothing else than sending the command. Okay, so now it disappeared. So if I do pet summon re ra rir s familiar, right? What happens? He actually did it. Now it's still the wrong race, but it seems that he actually summoned the second guy, right? So let me change this thing. Can we kill this pet number? I don't know what is this pet number. Why we even did it? If we can use it by name, why we need to have a number? If we can rename it. You can also do pet summon pet name. Yeah. Thank you for being a resource and asking about Real Engine. No problem. It's also the point of the stream. I mean, if I wanted just to develop by myself, I would just not stream, right? So the fact I'm streaming is also a bit due to that. What is these options, for example? Options. This syntax is very annoying because it doesn't tell you much. If I do /pet, yeah, it's just telling me that one line, which is super annoying. What is options? I don't think we have any options. Well, in theory are the ones but the pet name is taken as a second parameter, right? This could happen if the pet name is in quotes. Bah. To me, this part is meaningless. Pet name specified. No pet specified. Use the default. I don't see from the code it is reading the third parameter. I think it's just defaulting to the. I think he just summoned test. No, actually summoned the second one. Actually, summon the second one. Let me try to misspell it and see what happens. You have no pet named Rarest. Yeah. So it's actually... Yeah. No, he's taking the... He's taking the name. So actually, yes, it works with the name. I just cannot see it from the... I think it's inside the summon command. So probably the summon command is able of parsing the name. Yes, options word. Okay. So the options is basically can be the name of the pet. But basically, I think if I delete this nonsense of the comma, which I really dislike it, I don't know why it even exists. I don't even understand why it exists. I think it should only do this. Pet name specified, no pet specified. Use default. So I mean, it should take the command as the first parameter all the time, and then if you have options, the options will be the rest of the name. So I don't understand all this complexity. First parameter is the command. The rest are the options, where the options can be the name of the guy, right? I think all this code is useless, or anyway, I don't see a use for it now. Okay, so we remove it. So for example, summon, then is going inside the summon and is saying and here is searching for target ID. I mean, if you want, can also be a number. Why not? Why not? Target ID. So here is going by target ID. Now, okay, and here is going by number. Okay. Or use the number of the pet starts from 0. Okay, so if we want from the UI, the simplest is that we do /pet summon 0, /pet summon 1. Okay, so that is the easiest if you want to do it. Then let me check, for example, name. So when we rename, okay, command name. Yeah, the pet must be summoned to name it. Okay, I don't know why, but it's fine. And then we change it into the database. Okay. The only problem is that when I rename it, I need to send the list of pets again to my you see, temporary commented, broadcast the new name to everyone. Even if when we renamed it, who is this guy? Wait. This guy is who? This guy is Rarari Familiar. Okay, so it's the second one. So if I do pet name second, your pet familiar is name as second, but okay, if I click him again, he's already correct because probably the name is replicated. Okay, so I think that the name is kind of fine, but my UI is not refreshed, right? So I need to be sure that I'm sending again when I'm renaming the pet. So I would say the pet name is replicated by you, but we need to update the UI, but we need to refresh the pet UI. Okay, so here we basically need to do the same that we did I'm not completely sure that the pet list is removing the previous, so probably we're gonna add on top that I'm not sure, but we need this. So the name will be refreshed also here in the UI. Okay, and that's important. Then the other thing we need to do, I would like to add the ability to rename directly from here, because otherwise it's true that you are not renaming your pet very often, but you know, should it be an ability or should it be just the box in the I think we can just make that box an editable box. C++ 2000 times faster than Python. Generally only 5 times faster than C#. I don't know. I think it's a weird idea to create a proprietary language for Unreal. I think it's a bit weird. There are so many existing languages, scripting languages. I don't know, Lua or Python itself, or I don't understand why you need to make a new one, you know, just to make things more complex. I don't understand. Maybe there is a good reason, but on top of my head, I cannot understand why they cannot just use a simplified Python syntax. I mean, you can still build your own compiler, but at least make it equal to Python, so everyone already knows how to use it, you know. They don't have to learn a new one. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. So we go in game and we go in the window pet. The question is, do we want window pets? I'm thinking if we should just put we should just make this one an editable box, and when you press enter, it's just changing the name of the pet and that's it, or if I should add a button like change name, or both, I don't know. Because the easiest is to make it editable. So you go here and you change it, right? Because I think a button that is like rename, I think it's very annoying to have a button here. I mean, imagine having a permanent button here on the side that is called rename. You prefer a button so obviously you can redo it. It's a bit annoying though to have a permanent button, you know, that you use one time probably one time when you create the pet and never again, right? What if we add a standard dialogue to the pet that you speak with him and you tell him what is his name? A small icon with edit. Yeah, a small icon with edit I think may work. Like a pen, like a pencil. Yeah, I think like a pencil may work. No, but I was thinking that you speak with your pet and you change his name. Like you are telling him, hey, your new name is blah blah blah, right? I think it would be kind of cool, but do we have a pencil icon? I think a pencil icon can be fine. Do we have a pencil icon? I don't think we have a pencil icon. I mean, we have many icons, but I don't remember having a pencil icons. There is a UI. Wait, there is this one which is UI icons, but I think we can just take it. I think we can just find one in our icon database and put it under UI art probably. UI art. Where do we have all the rest of the UI? Is here. Wait. Maybe here we have it. No. Menu icons. There is this one which is not too bad, which is an old ink container. I don't know if you can see this one. But I think a pencil would be very easy to understand. I think would be the best. Okay. Let's search it in our free resources icons. Pencil. Wow. The most fantasy one. The most fantasy one. I don't know, I want to take this one. This one, huh? This one you like, huh? Pencil 5, whatever. And then we go in our GIMP. I think we just need to make it a bit smaller because that's a 512 icon. Wow, it's very nice. Is it too fat? I don't know if I can shrink it, but potentially. I think if we want to shrink it, I can do this thing, the cage thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's just destroying everything. Yeah, like now. Exactly like now. Let me try a simpler version of the cage. I think it's kind of working. No, it's Let me try a bigger version of the cage. I don't know if it's too fat. It's a very nice icon. It's beautiful. I love it. But I don't know if it's too fat. Is it becoming smaller or not? I mean, keeping the same length but becoming... Or I can just rotate it and scale it. I can just rotate it and scale it. That's probably the simplest. If I rotate it like this, I will lose quality, but it's already super quality, so... So now if I scale it this way, it becomes smaller, you see? Whoops. Yeah, rotate 45 and then resize. Yes, that is what I did. Even if it's losing quality when you do that, but I think it's fine. Is it too long now? Maybe I exaggerated in the... Now it's back to what it was. Now it's back to exactly what it was. Okay, anyway, I think it's very nice. Which kind of inclination we want? I don't know, something like that. Let's say that we want something like that. Do we want this thing to be red? Do we want this thing to even exist or not? Or do we want, you know, I'm going a bit drastic, but I'm saying, what if we just have, you know, the pencil itself without the... Without the red part. Programmers art in the making, yes. Do you like the red part? The red part is a bit... I don't think it's very medieval to have that. But at the same time, you should have an ending, you know? It should finish somehow. At the moment, it's not finishing in any way. But probably I like it more like this. Just simple as that, you know, without any fancy... Now it looks a bit too short though, but... No? I can duplicate this piece maybe, even if it's all shaded, so I think it will not work. Because I think it's all shaded and stuff, so... Actually, it is kind of working. It's not really shaded too much. I didn't took the side. Programmers art in the making, exactly. I don't know why it's cutting off 1 pixel on the left. I have no idea. Why not the feather quill? Yeah, if there is a feather quill, there is. Quill. This one? This one? This one is okay. I don't like too much the gray because I think will not be very visible on a UI. But because like the UI is, well, the UI will have to be completely redone anyway one day, but you know, but anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on this. So let's just put an icon and let's select something that we like. It's sensory or link. Yeah, what did you search? Ink. Feather quill. I don't know, maybe this one. I think ink is probably the one that is giving more results, you know? But let's go with this for now, okay? And then we will, if you want to provide a new one, I will be more than eager to use it. The only thing that we need now, we need this thing to be kind of square. Otherwise we will be in trouble. Because the button will be square. Holy shit. 458. Okay, this is a square. This is a square. And so the pencil will go into it like this, right? I think it will be very small. Probably that's why they made it so fat, because it's more visible if it's in a square, but I don't know. Scale image, let's go, I don't know, 128 or something. Boom. Export PNG, we will call it pencil PNG. And I can change it. I can change it in case later on, okay? And then we go here. No. We go here and we import. And we go, where was that? Was in PS stamp or was in temp? Was in PS stamp. Pencil. Okay. Now, this thing we can save it. And this thing we can use here in our pencil, in our UI, right? What the fuck? Wait, probably because it's draw as image. Okay. Yeah, I don't really like it too much, but I think it's understandable. I mean, if you see something like that, probably the quill will be nicer. If you find a nice quill, send it to me. Yeah, we can have something like that. So this will be the button. Now the button, what the button will do? The button will switch between this one, which is a text box, and an edit box. So we actually need to add, we need to duplicate, no, we need to add an editable text, right? Which is edit box, editable text, text box, this one. And we can put it just next to this one, and we will call it edit pet name, and this one will go, what is it? I see. This one should go pretty much exactly on top of the other of the text, right? So that when we switch, it looks identical, right? And I think we can have the same background, the same font, the same thing. So color and opacity, I'm gonna think copy. No, it's completely different. Okay, GG. At least the font, I think I can copy. Font, copy. font paste. Yeah, the font, I think it did it. The background color at the moment, I think we can say black. Okay, and the text, pet name. Wait, foreground should be white now. And it should be centered. Can we, okay. Yeah, you see it's pretty much in the same spot. Now it seems that the edit box needs a bit more space to actually be visible, but we can do something like that. So this one will be by default invisible, right? So we will flag it as visibility collapsed so that is not, no. Then this one, which by the way, we need to copy the normal button everywhere. So paste, paste, paste. When you click on this thing, button one, no, button one, no. We will call it edit name. Button edit name, okay. I mean, it is a kind of a functionality. It is not very highly used, you know, to change the name of the pet, but still, okay, still I'm gonna do it. I mean, it's a bit useless what I'm doing now, but because it's I mean, it's not useless, but I would say it has very little impact on the game, but it's fine. We can do it. We can do it. So when we click on this guy, edit pet name. So the first thing we need to by the way, this button should change his icon when you are like committing or not, or you just click it again and it's done. It will help new players a lot. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I guess it's very annoying to say why I cannot change the name. And so when you click on that, we need a variable to know if we are in edit mode, right? Edit name mode, and should be a boolean, which by default will be false. So if we are already in edit mode, then we're gonna save. Okay, so this will go to the save node, and so it will get we'll get this, and we'll get the text, get text, and then we'll never understood why they invented this thing that is a different, you know, but it's not a string. It's just not a string, probably because a text is longer than a string, but okay. And then with this one, we are gonna send a message. So we need to execute a command. Now, executing a command is fairly easy. I just need my player controller, right? I just need my player controller, and I just need to create a command, right? And the command, I can just make it by creating a literal string, and this one will be an append or something, and so this one will be like slash pet name. It's a good idea that we decided that you need to have the pet summoned to rename it, because so all commands are working on the pet that is summoned at the moment, which I think is a great idea. Great idea. So it's simplifying so much. You show it only when you hover the cursor name on the box. Yeah, we can also do that. Yes. Yes, we could do that if we want. So if you try to click there, it will show the, yeah, it's also a possibility. So pet name and then the new name, okay? Pet name and then the new name. And then this thing will go into execute command, right? So and in theory it is working already, right? Because this execute command is going to do the command that we just tested, and it works. Now, if we are not in edit mode, we need to enable it. Sorry, it also needs to hide. It also needs to hide this guy. So set visibility to collapsed, and he needs to change the name. No, the name is not changing. It is waiting. He's waiting the refresh, which will come from the server. Okay, so he's not changing the name on the client without the server telling us that is a valid name. And then here, if we are not in edit whatever, we will set this one to visible, and we will set the other one, so the txt pet name to invisible. Set visibility, right, to collapsed or whatever. Okay, so that we can, so here we can actually edit. Now I think that here we need to restore the visibility though, otherwise we will not see the name anymore. Okay, so I think this will do already what we need, boys. We'll actually rename and then send us the updated name. Also because we added in the code the fact that it's sending us the new list. So I just need to recompile and see if it works. I remember guild chat not appearing when you joined the guild, so you had to guide a new member through the process on how to set up the channel. Yeah. Yeah, you know what is the problem? Is that there are hundreds of those things. Hundreds. And the time is limited. Unfortunately, I'm not immortal. So I have a number of years in front of me to do this. But it's not infinite. And so or we get more people helping me, or we need to pick our battles. We need to choose our battles, or I mean, we do it for fun, so it's not too much of a problem. But still, you know, we also do it to provide a game that is actually working. So, but if we go and search every little detail, we would never finish. That's the problem. Okay, so let's see if something works. So now it will rename the active pet. And also I did some changes to the code to remove the other parts. So the comma thingy, the comma syntax. What do you mean by older form? I didn't change any. Okay. So we go here. Ah, yes, I got your icons on Discord. Okay. The problem is that they are black. Okay, maybe we can make it white. I mean, we can take the icon and make it white. Okay, so we have test and we have second. So we're gonna to rename test to something else. Let me see if I click here. It's not very visible that is editable, but okay. Test, let's call it test mod. And then I click here. Nothing happened. Why? Ah, because it's not summoned. That's a problem though. Since your pet is not... But in theory I should receive the message though. I should receive the message here telling... Because if I now do pet name blah blah blah... Yes, it's telling me you have no summoned familiar to command. So why is not doing it when I click on this? There is something not working then. Because in theory... I think he's not sending it for some reason. Strange, no? Ah, fuck. Mistakes were made. I didn't flag the flag. I didn't flag the flag, so it cannot work. I wonder if the comma we use in the case we have composed name like 2 words. Maybe, but at the moment actually the last part of the command is taken fully. So even if you type A space B space C, that will become the options in the code, and the options is then used as a name if you can find it. So no, it's actually doing a get 0. Yes, you can name it only with 1 word. The comma was probably used, yes, the comma maybe was used if you want to give to your pet a name with two words, yes. With 2 words. No, but look, no, wait, it's checking for the last name as well. So I think if you put 2 words, yes, he's checking also for the last name. Yes. No, but sorry, the mistake I did is that I didn't switch the state, so I didn't tell him that we are in edit mode, so obviously it will never work. So I used this nice edit name mode and then I never set it, so that is not a good idea. So so at the beginning it will be false automatically, and so here I need to set it to true. And then when I click it again, I'm going to execute this, and then I'm going to set it again to false, right? Now, if you're gonna click like crazy on that button, I don't know exactly what is gonna happen, but that would be your responsibility to mess up with your own pet name. I mean, there are a lot of ways that you can spam the server, right? And this button is one way. So you just click it, click it, click it, click it, click it a million times. And so basically you're continuously sending the name change of your pet to the server. But I mean, I don't think that's a big issue. I think we can survive. I think we can survive if you do that. You can flood it in a much worse way than this one. Because there will be people flooding the server for sure. That's expected, unfortunately, but that's what it is. So we actually had a flood prevention in the old game. In the new one, I don't have it yet, but I think I need to put it. Which is basically counting the number of messages coming from one IP and then is banning the IP after a certain period of time. Or is flagging it and then we review it, but I think the old one was considering the volume, and if the volume was too high in a certain amount of time, was banning the IP. So was kicking the guy and was not allowing him to connect again. Okay, this guy's name test. Now let's name the second guy. So the second guy we want to rename. He becomes like this. I don't know if it's very understandable. Maybe a background with a small gray thingy will be easier to understand, and now you can rename it. We will call it third. And we will click here. Okay, it became second again. Yes, because it's telling us you have no summon familiar to command. Okay, so at least that makes sense. So I have to summon my pet, right? And when I have it summoned, I can now change it to yeah, it's not copying the old name. I think it's also something that we should do. Yes, we summoned the first one, and so we renamed the first one. Okay, makes sense. But the rename worked, you see? The rename worked. Your pet test familiar is now known as third. Very nice. So it doesn't have a last name. Now, if I want to name the second, I will have to summon the second, right? So I need to dismiss the other guy. By the way, dismiss I think is global. And I need to summon my second pet. And then I rename my second pet to Fort King, right? And then I click here. Seems that the sequence is not working though. It's always renaming the first guy. Why? It seems that it's always renaming Fort King. I think if you have two names, it's fucking up a bit. I would put an outline on the box when you're editing. Yeah, exactly. We need to put an outline, otherwise it's not really understandable. Yup, that's the reported bug. Which bug? You reported a bug that you summon always the... But actually, it looked to me that the summoning was correct. Like now I have... dismiss, right? So if I summon this guy, right? No, is summoning always the first one? What the fuck? Now the window only showed the first familiar, but now it doesn't do it anymore. You see that now you can see both. So now that is fixed. in my client, not in yours, but in my client is okay. The problem I think is the sequence. Can I know if this guy, I mean, why is renaming the wrong one? In theory should rename the pet that is active. Fourth king. I don't know why I gave it two last names, but we will see. So if I rename this guy and I call it 5, right? It's 5 king. Okay, the last name is changed only if you provide a new last name, but okay, that's another problem we need to fix. But now it seems it worked, but it worked because it was the first of the two, right? If I dismiss this guy and I summon second, right? Is this guy second or not? No, this guy is 5 king. So he's not summoning the right one. Okay. But it's because I never did the second. Okay. Yeah, I never did this thing. Okay, let me try to do it manually. I think this button is not considering the name. Right? The button is not considering the name. The button is just doing pet summon. Let me try to do it by command. So pet summon second. So this guy now in theory should be second. Yes, second familiar. So now if I rename second and I name it 6, yes, now it works. Okay, it's only the problem of the fact that this button is not going by name, but it's just summoning the first. So they are merging. Yeah. Here we have two models, but that's another problem. That's yet another problem, but I'm aware of it. I'm aware of the fact that we are not putting the right model in the 3D world, but that's okay. We will fix that. Because if you have multiple pets, you need to have multiple instances of that model in the 3D world so you can point a camera to it. At the moment, I'm just putting it in the same place. And also the camera will change based on the size of the model. So it's more complex than that. It's more complex than that because I will have to remove the camera. I mean, there is a lot of, tweaks and tricks. Tweaks and tricks. Okay, let me just do it that it's summon the right one from the command. Should we always go by name or should we go by number? I think that we can go by number is easier. Assuming that the sorting is always the same. So I think we can say 0, 0, and 1, right? Because I think it works. Summon 0 and summon 1 should work. So the name can be whatever it is, and we just... So yeah, we will put a soft shading at the back of the name, at the back of the editor, and we will put... Also, I need to copy the name of the current pet into the edit box, something that I didn't do, and it looks pretty bad. So this one, we will put a small background color, not black, but we will go for kind of a gray, right? So it's very evident, that you're editing something. And also, I want to be sure that when we click on the button, we are copying the name. So we get the text that we have in the name of the guy, and we set it in the edit. So it's the same. So when you are switching between set text, so when you are switching between panels, between paths, you will actually get the right name. At the moment, it was basically getting the previous one, right? So that is good. Now we want to be able to summon the right pet. So when you click on summon, I think at the moment, summon. Yes, you see, at the moment it's just doing /pet summon, it's doing nothing else. While in theory, it should do /pet summon and then 0 or 1 based on the /pet summon, and then it should use 0, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 based on the number. Now, how do we know which number is it though? How do we know which number is it? Because we have the name, but I don't think we have the number. I don't know, maybe we have it. Current pet. We have this current pet. Let me see what it contains. Maybe it contains the number. Current pet. We have a pet type, a pet is alive, a pet name, a pet mesh, a pet energy, happiness, pet items, last fed time, experience, evolution. No, we don't have the name. GG. We don't have the name, boys. I mean the number. PT though. PT. I think we need it. I think I need to change this structure. Is PS own pets. PS own pets will probably be inside pet manager somewhere. Own pets, yes, is this one. We have a pet type which is primary or secondary, but that's not enough. I need to extend it with the pet number, the pet ID, because we want to know, is it really needed? Pet ID starts with 0 for the primary pet. Yeah, I think I need to extend that. Why does the name not work there? Now, in theory, the name works, but I think I'm happier to send an ID over the network. You know, is less data, more reliable. I don't know, maybe in the name you place something that doesn't work because it's a special character and everything fucks up, while the ID will always work. So I prefer to send the ID, assuming that the ID is correct, but I think it will be. Now we need to see though where this guy, and maybe we use it for future function. So I think it's anyway an information that I want to have. Get familiar ID. Yes. So, and character ID equal to ID. The only problem is that I think that these IDs are actually the familiar ID, familiars of iUnbox. The best will be to send really the real ID, which is the ID in the database, you know, and not just if it's the number 0, number 1, number 2. But the command obviously work with 0 and 1 because the players don't know these internal numbers, right? But these internal numbers are the more reliable information because it's telling you which one is but on the other side, we don't want to be able to change the names of other familiars which are not ours familiars, right? So we should work not on the ID but on the array, and this array I think will always be loaded in the proper sequence, hopefully. Yes, but I think this array is always staying. Okay, so let's do this. We will just put an additional value, which is x. So this value x will be set. So owned pet dot pet ID equal to x, which is just a counter, you know, which is just a counter, but it starts from 0 and it goes up. Now I need to be sure that I'm not using this own pet anywhere else. For sure I'm using it. No, I'm not using it here, but when I created the familiar, we said, when I create the familiar, do I populate the structure? I think no, because I populate the structure only when I send it to the client. Okay, so that's good. That's good, because we will have it only when, okay. I think it is good. So we will have our number. So what I need to do now, I need to close this because I changed the C++ code. I'm going to recompile and we will see magically that new field appear in the blueprints. You do so it's a common language. It's recompiling. Sometimes it takes time, and this time we changed the header file, so may take a bit more. While it's recompiling, I can check the other I can check the other thingy. I mean, we could take this and color it white, I guess, and put it on the UI. I just don't know if this will look better than the pencil. I think the pencil at the end is the most understandable symbol for edit. I think it's pretty common, so people understand it easy. It is building. Yeah, so this way we will have the ability to summon the second pet, which is what we were missing actually. Yes, so it was not working. I mean, it was showing the second pet, but it was not summoning it properly. Did I show you already a preview of the new faction symbols? I don't remember if I showed it yesterday or not. I don't remember. I don't remember. But I can show you. I can show you now. I can show you now. This is a preview. I mean, this is the outline of the symbol for one of the factions that we will have in the game, which is called the Indomitables, and is the people that are using the axes. The drawing is very nice. I really like it, and the reason it's so nice is that we commissioned it. So we commissioned all the faction symbols to an artist, and she's making them. And this one will be, you know, just an outline, and maybe in the, you know, maybe we will have also subset of this, because I'm thinking that potentially we could take. I mean, it doesn't always have to be like this. Maybe in some cases we will take only. Okay. Can I have a background? Okay. Maybe we will have only the axe, you know, in some cases. Maybe with a part of the anvil, or maybe only the axe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe maybe I don't know. I have to think about it, but it doesn't mean that the symbol always need to be full size, you know, with all the elements and such. Maybe it can be only only the axe hitting the anvil. So sometimes it can only be this. Or it can be the full one. Yeah, but anyway, I think those are very cool. Those are very, I mean, it's very nice drawing. I really like it. So I think we found the right person for that commission. Okay, now we recompile, so we can launch the editor again. We will have our new ID, and we can push in the ID. How does it feel to support this project over all these years? It feels great. I like it. They say that the more you add work into it, and the more, you know, you are linked to it. So, I mean, it depends if you're having fun doing it or not. In general, I am having fun doing it, even if sometimes there is a bit of a grind, you know, to do things, like when you have to convert 500 objects, you know, or when you have to migrate data, or when you have to clean up items that are rotated wrongly. So there are definitely some grinding, some annoying things to do, but you see that now we have our mythical pet ID, so we can get this guy and we can connect it here. And then I don't know if I like it this way. Can we get only pet ID? Pet ID. Get pet. No. This is the only way I can do it. I cannot isolate this guy out of the structure. No. Huh? Okay, because it's okay. Fine. Okay, we do it this way. It doesn't look beautiful, but that's what it is. So this one in theory should do it already, because we are receiving the pet ID through this structure, and we are then using it to summon, right? The dismiss is not a problem because the dismiss is working on the current one, and the name also is not a problem because it's working on the current one. So this is basically it should be working now. The sphere? What do you mean about the sphere? What do you mean? I didn't put any music. I forgot. I was too focused on doing our stuff and I forgot. I'm putting it now. I don't know if the randomizer really works well, but sometimes it's really picking up the same songs. I think the most complex part, developer, is to, is to do it consistently. Because, you can program one day and then you don't get the motivation, you don't program the next day. And so the problem is to make such a project, you really need to be consistent, to do it a lot. I mean, there is a lot of things to do. Okay, if I want to summon 6, okay, which is the second one. Fuck. He said you do not have a pet named 0. By the way, why 0 and not 1? That is strange. If I do it on this one, you don't have a pet named 0. There are two problems here. One, that we always get 0 instead of 0 and 1. And I don't know why, because in theory, this should change. At least this works. But... Why we didn't get the value? I used X and that is cycle, right? So X hopefully is incremented. Ah, fuck, because it's not X, it's I. Shit. GG. But anyway, apart from this, is I, so is this one, is not that one. But apart from this, which is okay, I can fix. Why 0 doesn't work? So it means that in our pet manager, when we do summon 0, actually is not working. So I cannot say, because it's saying you do not have a pet named 0. Pet summon 0. You do not have a pet named 0. Wasn't it working with numbers? We said that it was working with numbers, but it's not. We thought it was working with numbers, but it actually is not working with numbers. So when I do summon, which is here, yeah, this target ID in theory should put in target ID operator did give a name. No, but this is not working because this thing is assigning anyway option words, so it's not a good idea. And equal to null. What? No. Here there is a piece of code that I'm missing. Wait. This thing has not been ported properly. This thing has not been ported properly from the old code. Is evident because there is a line missing or something. I'm gonna to open the old code and I'm gonna check because now pet manager. Was it existing already, or I created it? Well, it was existing, but probably was in another class. Let me see. Probably was inside spawn manager, right? Because I think I created pet manager myself. Yes. So I think it was inside spawn manager or entity manager. No. NPC manager. Okay, so this is the old code. Okay, so it's an older Visual Studio and is an older code and is the not Unreal code, but as you can see it's very similar. So the problem is that it has this end get data safe and 0. So this was returning a pointer to something which here is not. So I think he was just checking if the number was properly converted. You know what will be the problem? The problem is if you name your pet 1, the number 1, right? If you name your pet with numbers, this will fuck up a bit our reasoning because we are actually going through a string which is the name, which is the number, but we don't know if it's the name or the number. So if you name it 0 or if you name it 1, it will well, we can parse ID. Let's do this. Let's use a new syntax. I think we can say options can be name or options can be ID and then column and the number. So hopefully you were not going to call your pet ID column 0, right? Yes, like exactly like having a hashtag 0 or ID, you know, 0. So I think it's probably better. Options can be name of the pet or ID and then the ID. Do we use ID number? I think we can do something like that, which makes probably more sense. And so here we are going to parse. We are going to parse the fact that in the options we have only the case we are using name, right? Because it's the only one, I guess. Or is working for everything? No, I think it's working for everything. Probably, I'm not sure. Wait, where was that parsing? No, sorry, not in name, in summon. I mean, in summon. Yeah, it's ID column. So, you know, I think it's very unlikely that someone will call them ID column. And if you really want, okay, then it will not work and fuck it. you are searching for trouble and you got it, you know. So so I think what we can do, we can then search inside these options of 0, right? Option 0, find or we can even say starts with, because at the point, yeah, I think we can be starts with, so because it must be the first one, right? Starts with ID. So if options word start with ID, then we so let's say that we set target ID equal to -1 at the beginning. I don't know, this size int is so annoying. Int target ID -1. So we go here. In this case, we set the target ID to be our option word 0, and we take right chop. We take what it doesn't like. Sorry. And we take right chop. I always confuse these ones. Right chop count. So it's the number of characters to cut off from the right. I think that left chop is the one that is cutting off the number from the left. Return the leftmost character from the string, chopping the given number of characters from the end. Exactly. No, the opposite then. So it's the right chop. Right chop. Return the string to the right of the specified location, counting forward from the left. Yes, exactly. So we'll do a right chop of 3. So in theory, we'll cut off 3 characters, which is our ID. And this one we will finally convert to integer, right? Yes, like this. Okay, if it's empty, I don't know, if it's empty, it will not return anything, will remain as -1. And then to check if we gave us a name, we check that the length is different than 0, and that our target ID is equal to, and our target ID is equal to -1, right? So if it's equal to -1 means there is a name. If it's not -1, you will go with the number of the pet. And so here we will use get familiar ID target ID. I don't know if this get familiar ID is using the actual pet ID or is using yeah, he's using the index. Okay, he's using the index, which is good. So when he has the familiar ID, then in the rest of the function is going to do the rest. So I don't think we care too much what he's doing next. Wait, our guy's still here waiting, huh? He's still waiting for food. Actually, he doesn't care too much about the UI, you know, our pet is just waiting for the food and saying, will this guy finish programming this thing and giving me some food? Or giving me some task to do, because I'm kind of bored of staying always there doing nothing. Ah, okay. Strange though. Yeah, so it's recompiling. I'm just checking something else quick. If my PC collaborates, okay, it does. Side slash. No, because we are saying that we are using the ID. No, I had the editor open. I had the editor open, so I need to redo the compilation because wait. I was checking about because Aeonwind is telling me in the chat that the special attacks still have the old icon. Still have the old icon. Ah, yes, because we use the one that is inside abilities now. Because now abilities is a bigger class, and this class, yes, exactly. This one is using rank icon, skill icon. Wait, I'm a bit confused. Anyway, meanwhile it compiled, right? Yes, it compiled, so we can restart it and test. We can restart it and test it. No, I was thinking if I go inside the skill abilities. Yes, exactly, rank icon. Yeah, the new. Yes. Yes, the icons are now in skills abilities table, which is working for all kind of abilities, talents, also the ones not related to combat. So that field in the attacks table is actually not used anymore because it had been aggregated to the other level. Okay, so I was answering to another question. I forgot to list of the tasks a pet can do except talking. At the moment he can eat, can follow you, and can talk. That is all he can do. Okay, let me try to summon 6. You do not have a pet named 1. Fuck! Okay, at least now we have 1 and 0. You don't have a pet named Zero. Okay, it seems that my code here is not working. I don't know why, but it seems he's not doing what he should do. Maybe starting from 0 and so it should be right chop 2. I don't know. Let me debug it. Let me debug it, boys. I think it's the only way. Trying to figure it out by guessing is not the best. But in theory, we want the pet to be able to find resources on the ground for you. We want them to scout for enemies. We want them to carry items. You know, so we made a list. We want to carry items and yeah, and a lot of other stuff. But it will not be in the short term. There was like a wish list. Okay, so we are restarting here to see if it works. Okay, so we want to select, I don't know, the second one. Click on summon and then go in debug mode here and see why it's not working, okay? So my option was 0 is 1. Ah, fuck me. Because I'm stupid. I'm stupid like a groffel. Because we didn't add the ID to the command, so obviously it's not finding ID. We didn't put it in the string that we sent from the client to the server. Okay, I cannot freaking type because the editor. I didn't send ID column, so obviously it's not finding ID column. So we need pet summon, ID, column, and then the number, right? Otherwise, it will never work, my friends. Okay, we can try now. I will still leave the thing in debug mode, so we are sure that it's not, you know, messing up. Okay. So now we have our ID, so I hope that it will work. Can we summon this guy, please? Okay, let's try to summon one. And let's see if now... Okay, now this is taking it. Did we get our pet or not? Yes, we got our pet. And is this pet 6? Ah, okay. Okay, so now it works. Now we can actually summon different pets, right? So I can summon 5. Or I can summon 6. This is 5. Hello, 5. Actually, this is 5 King. For whatever reason, the last name got... Yeah, but it's actually working, which is nice. It is actually working, boys. Let me try to rename 6 to 7. Right? Yeah, the only problem is that... because the rename works only for the summon pet. Yes, the rename works only for the summon pet. So actually, even if you are here and you are going to say, hey, can you rename 6? It will actually rename the other guy. That's very annoying. Because it renames only the... It renames only the active pet. Fuck. So this technique is not really the best. How can we fix this? Because you are going to rename the guy. You are going to rename the guy. You know that I still think that it's probably better to put a rename here and fuck it. When you are speaking with him. Even if changing this window is not so easy. Because changing this window means a bunch of other stuff. Why you was saying? Wait. Why you was saying 7? Oops, I lost my head. Because it didn't refresh after the click, huh? You know, we have a problem. I don't know what is happening with the camera when I freaking speak with NPC. I would have to check that. I mean, now it works, okay? But I don't know if it's a good place to put it here. Because if we put it there and you are selecting the one that is not currently summoned, you know, you are going anyway to rename the other one, and it's super confusing. Maybe what we can do, we can say that we can send a message. If you try to rename the other one that is not summoned, we can send a message like, this pet is not summoned, you cannot rename it. But I don't know, I will think about it. I think we can probably get rid of this actually and speak with the NPC directly. And like I was trying to do at the beginning. But anyway, the mechanism work, right? So the mechanism of renaming works and the mechanism of summoning multiple one works. We just need to decide where to put it in the UI. I think it would be very cool if you can say something like, your name is blah blah blah, you know? And he will answer. I mean, he will understand and be named that way. That would be very nice, but I don't know if I can do it. Okay guys, I think is all for today. Thanks for watching. If you can click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that would be nice. Also, if you want to do the extra mile and support us even more, you can go to Patreon, which is patreon.com/planeshift, and get access to the alpha and, you know, and get some videos and pictures that we paste there sometimes. Could you change the background color of the pad board? Yeah, we will change it. We will change it because I will redo it. I mean, most of the windows will be redone. Okay, so this will be done with nice graphics and everything will be redone better one day. I don't know when, but anyway, we made some progress, which is nice. So there are some more commands working and a few more things. We have a bit of a fuck up on the camera for some reason. I need to check why. But I think it's good for now. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Tomorrow is Thursday, so yes, I can stream. I will not be streaming on Friday, but tomorrow I will be 99% here. Okay? Goodbye, my friends. And if you can test the alpha, that's a good idea. So that you can find bugs, right? See you boys next time.